for the.
Sounds good.
That's weird. It has a.
Good morning, Kennerit. Good morning, David.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's see if
Oh, there we go. Okay.
let's start with you, Gianni. What's new in your worlds? Any challenges, questions, thoughts?
No challenges. Everything's same as last week.
Great. Kennerit, how about in your world?
Nothing really new, just the same people I'm still helping. They're just kind of dragging along. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. And I'm driving my daughter to school right now, so I'll be listening.
Okay.
Cool.
Sounds good. It's funny, guy. I was having lunch last week with a friend, and Kennerit was at the same place.
Yeah, I was like, "Is that Mason?" I was like, "That kind of looks like Mason." He was paid and he was like staring at me. I was like, "Holy shit, there's Mason." He was like, "Kennerit?" I was like, "Oh, Mason." Yeah, I was with my brother eating, and yeah,
That was pretty neat.
Yeah.
Nice coincidence.
Yeah.
David, how about you? New in your worlds? Questions, challenges, thoughts?
Nothing super new. Just listening to the book that she gave me, which is cool. And yeah.
Nice. Nice. Well, let's get into some things here. So we've got Alex going to be able to help cover on some business planning for us. And before we get into there, I just want to just share one of the cool things, at least one of the classes I felt was going to be beneficial for some. The class of the week that I'm choosing is this, the business of client experience, a buyer's journey. So this will, from the description of being able to customize templates to use at various points of a buyer's purchase and checklists to assist buyers at every step of the buyer's journey. I think that being able to have a different perspective too on working with buyers, and I say buyers at this time is probably the easiest clients to work with at this point because there isn't competition for homes. So it is a good time to work with buyers. And so this buyers class will help being able to work with buyers out there right now. And hi, Allison.
Hi, Mason. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Allison, what's new in your world? Any thoughts, questions? I'm just going around the room, and then what we're doing is just sharing any thoughts or challenges or any wins that you want to share.
Well, I have a buyer coming from California to buy a house here. He's going to retire here, so I'm pretty excited for this month.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great win. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
And so let's see what else we got here. And right now we've gone over the class of the week. Caitlin, thanks for joining. How are you doing?
Good. A little cold. Just walked back from the bus stop, but good.
Awesome. I'm glad you can make it. Before we begin with things, we just went around the room already and just kind of just shared thoughts and what's new. How about for you? Any wins, thoughts, questions?
Well, I just listed a business here in Granite Falls, so that was a win. thoughts. I have gotten 2 offers on a listing I have in Linwood, but both of them were significantly lower than asking price. Is that a more common thing that people are seeing?
Lowball offers. Yes, we'll touch on that too. So I think we've got Alex doing a business planning, and then we'll touch back on your 2 low offers you got in your Linwood. And then we got to hear more about your business that you've listed too. All right, Alex, are you ready to
Yeah.
start? Okay, I've allowed you to share your screen if you've got anything. So I'm going to stop my share here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you everyone for joining on this. So, as we kind of talk about business plan, right? Some of you have done business plans before, and some of you, this could be pretty new. So, this is going into my 5th year on the sales side. And so I started a business plan about 3 years ago, and kind of took like a couple business plans to kind of put into one that I kind of do now. And I've been doing it for the last several years. And so on your screen in the chat box are two different versions. One is a goal setting plan, because it's a vision plan. And then the second one, which is a Word doc, that breaks down your numbers more, because in order to know what you want to achieve in your business, you have to know your numbers. Okay, so there's two sets. We're probably not going to go over the numbers one as much, because that's something that you can kind of do internally. We'll go over it a little bit more in detail, but we can always do that one-on-one. But the goal setting one, I want to go over more because it's a little more fun. It's more interactive for everyone. So if you can, you probably want to grab something to write on for yourself, to take notes as we're going through this, because this is something that's going to be more of like that you're going to want to create. Okay. And so now we're going to just kind of, really go into 2023 pretty hard, right? And so 2023 is such an unknown year, all right, for our industry, just off the bat, right? Last few years, if you were in the industry, it was fruitful. Now there's so much uncertainty, layoffs, new strand of COVID, all this crazy news that's happening, weather issues, right? So it hasn't been the best start for everyone. And it's been slow, a lot of lowball offers like, Caitlin's been facing, and, we're hearing it all across the board. And actually we're seeing multiple offers still in that perfect home. So with this possibility of recession and unknown, your goal into 23 would be really more your own mindset. And it's really like developing like where you want to be in your mindset, right? We can't be positive every day, but we can't be negative every day, right? So we got to find this even balance, okay? Because if you try to be one way or another, it's that bouncing ball effect. So the first thing I want to share in the screen is, just simple, what are 3 things that you want to focus on daily, okay? And so I always like to say it's 2 parts, okay? So anyone, number 1, not a bad answer, but what's your number one goal every day for yourself? Anybody want to share?
My daily goal is that I have to exercise.
Okay. Okay. That's a good one. So in order to do that, right, you have to create happiness for yourself, right? Happiness, your number one goal in order to exercise, to do all these things is happiness, is to be happy. And then the other part of it is habits. So I always function 2 things together, and I always look at 2 letters that you can kind of combine together to create what that is. So for me, someone's told me you have to be happy, but in order to be happy, you have to create those habits. And so for like Mason said, is exercising every day. So you have to create the habits to make you exercise every day. So everyone's resolution was, oh, I want to lose 40 pounds. And that's great. But to achieve that number goal, what happened if you exceed that number? What happened if you're shy of that number? Right. And so the habit is not just that I'm going to lose that amount, but my habit is I'm going to go to the gym every day so I can lose that weight. So that's the habit that you're trying to create, right? I want one deal a month. Great. Well, you have to create the habit of that to be able to do that, right? Make your calls, connect with more people, okay? And then number 2, interaction, okay? So interaction and influence. And what I mean by that is if someone is, every week I send out whoever's on my list, I send out a text update or I email to my database every single week, right? And so that's my interaction. And so with that interaction, I'm also trying to influence, and I'm trying to influence a healthy habit or influence, what I've learned and what I'm doing to try to set myself apart from everyone else that's doing the same. So, creating some sort of interaction and being the influencer in that action, in that interaction is what you want to be. Okay. And then the last one is called ask and action. So what I mean by ask is ask more questions, right? Go deeper, right? We don't know what we don't know with the people that we work with, our friends, our families, different things, right? How can we provide a service if we don't ask what the needs are? Right? And then once you know what you've asked, now you have to create an action plan for it. Right? And you may not have the answer, but that's fine. But you have to create an action for that goal. Okay. Does this resonate with anyone at all? Okay, great. And you guys feel free to jump in, because I know it's 8 o'clock. I drove my butt back here to the office super early, prepared like a couple hours, because I wanted this to be more, involve you guys, because it's not just, hey, telling you guys what you should do, but showing you guys, hey, this is something that I've struggled with for years. This is what I've talked to with people. And it's all about like creating that mindset together, because we are all in this together. And you guys are doing this right now because you guys have created the habit every Tuesday to show up at 8 o'clock, right? You're interacting, right? You're influencing each other, right? We're asking these questions. We're creating the action. We're already doing this every single Tuesday. And even if you're on the Wednesday call. So, but this isn't just the hour that you're doing it. It's also pretty much, your daily things that you're doing. So, I hope this helps. And the last thing that you could do is, oh, sorry.
Alex, I just want to interrupt a quick minute here, just to, if anybody is able to show their video and their screen, I know it helps me when I'm speaking, because then I know I'm actually talking to people, and then being able to see people's reactions too. Sometimes I can see people's facial reactions to know that there's a question there. So, and then without the video, I can't really see that. And so I missed that part, but if there's no judgments here, right? We're in a safe place. So it doesn't matter what you look like right now in the morning, but if you don't mind sharing the video would help. So, and I think it would help Alex too.
Yeah, sounds great. And then the last thing is, if you want to take it to that next level, the fourth question or the fourth thing to add is fast and follow up. And what I mean by fast is you do things fast, but you're also fasting. So what I mean by fasting is, you can't do too much of the same thing. So if it's, social media, like, oh, hey, I want to fast from social media, or I'm going to do intermittent fasting where I'm not going to eat so much. So sometimes too much of something, right? Maybe even too much motivation is too much, right? So now that you have what you have enough of, make sure you follow up on it for yourself, right? Because that helps you to obtain certain things of this. So even what I'm showing you today, a little bit of it might resonate. And even if 1% of this resonates with what you're going to do over the next month or two, that's a win for you. And that's a huge win for you. And that's all we're just trying to do. Okay. So yeah, so if you've written this stuff down, created this for yourself, you know, the reason why I always try to do 2 and 2 is because I think there's always more than just one word itself. And someone kind of taught me that. So if you've got your own true, you know, add on to it, if you can create 10 things, you know, now we went from 3 to 4, you know, if you can create more things, then great. Okay. Awesome. Any questions on this? Okay. Cool. So we're going to move a little fast only because of the time variance with everything we've got going on today. So,
Hey,
but if
Alex,
you,
I love those labels. It's so awesome. It makes it easy to remember. And it's like you really have us focus on like those big categories. And then we can like fill in like Mason exercise under habit, you know? So I love it. Thank you.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And some of this I grabbed from the book Atomic Habits from James Clear.
Oh,
So,
yes.
you know, so like I said, you know, anything that you read or resonate with, maybe it's a video, maybe it's something that you got influenced on that you watched, you know, whatever is going to resonate you to help you get that push or pull, you know, is great. Because again, we give yourselves the credit. You guys are here at 8 o'clock every day. I mean, you know, or every Tuesday, you know, to be on this call. You know, again, what Mason said, we don't know what we look like. It doesn't matter, but you guys are here showing up. So showing up right now is such a great thing. And so if you can develop this, you know, for your daily, this is what's gonna take you to your next level, you know, and everyone's journey is gonna be different. So, okay. So the next one is goal setting for 2023. So the PDF is in the chat box. So we always want to focus on kind of like this wheel of what we need to prove on, or what are like things that we want to goal set. Okay. And this is the interactive one. And so for this, I want to be able with you guys to, I don't know if you guys can see the screen, to be able to then now add this. Okay. So for instance, what frustrates you the most that you want to work on for money? And, you know, I'm going to take your guys's, you guys can write it for each. And that's why I wanted you to have that sheet of paper, but, you know, add in what you guys think, because this is the interactive part. So for money, what frustrates you the most that you want to work on?
We want more.
You want more? Yep.
More passive income. How about that?
Okay. But more passive income.
Or consistent. Yeah, consistent.
Okay. Consistent. Income. Okay, great. And the reason why we're saying write this down, because I don't know if anyone's ever told you this, right? But there's this theory that, or a manifestation that no matter what you believe in, but if you actually write things down, it becomes more truthful, because you're actually probably going to look at this. And so the goal of this goal setting isn't like write it down, put it away. It's actually write it down and then put it somewhere in your goal. Okay. So I'll show you my webcam real quick in my office, but for instance, here's all the stuff that I've written down, you know, and put it on the side of my wall so that I can look at it when I'm here. So if you guys choose to do the same, you know, that may help you. So, okay, great. So one more passive income. So the question is, where are you at with that right now? In a rate from 1 to 10.
Oh, like, is that how frustrated is 10? Like,
yeah,
frustrated?
yeah.
Oh,
One is, oh, sorry, one is bad. 10 is great.
Oh, like I'm happy with it?
Yeah, are you happy
Okay.
with it? Or, is this something that you need to push for more for? So,
Yeah, like if the desire, so this, if like the desire is strong. So then-
correct.
okay, yeah, I would say it's an 8.
Okay. Okay, great. Now, the other part of it is, okay, so it's 8 for that. Okay, great. And then the other money part will write, anyone want to also say anything for the money part, as in like where they're at money wise? Like, it could be, I want to pay off my home, my mortgage. I want to, pay off
Oh,
my
like,
credit cards,
yeah, or buy a rental property, right?
Okay. Buy more rental properties.
Buy more rental property.
Great, great. Okay, so this is where your money portion is, and this is where you would put that for the money portion. And the reason, again, writing this down was more of that you have these notes, because as we're going it over, you won't forget it. So you could add more. And the goal of this too is not just write one-liners, but to write the details of it. If you want to buy more rental properties, how many rental properties do you want to buy going into next year? Because now you have to have an attainable number. So what are we thinking, like maybe 2?
Yeah, sure. I think that's a great goal for everybody to kind of keep in mind. I love that you're guiding us through this, because you're right. If you write it down, especially, your mind will start helping you figure it out and get you bring you all the resources and people to support that. So this is great.
Exactly. So then, and then the next part is for work. So for work, how many, so for work, what frustrates you the most? What is the things that you could work on?
Oh, I could time blocking.
Okay. Time blocking. Okay. Time blocking your schedule. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So what habit do you think you can create to help with that time blocking?
I'm even carving out time to time block.
Okay.
So every week, once a week,
Okay.
at like Sunday, I'll make that time to time block the priorities, the big rocks, as Rick would say.
Okay. Big rocks. Okay. The question, okay, so then now we'll take it deeper, Michelle, which is, what would you do? What habit could you do to create that time blocking in your schedule?
I would, like, you mean like set an alarm or something, like, so I
Okay.
know I'll dedicate it time, like a same time, like a day every week.
Okay.
That's time blocking time.
Okay. So where we're adding this 2-part is time blocking her schedule. She's identifying what it is. And then the other part is the action item that she's going to do to create that. So this is where your goal setting, you go a little bit more detail, because you'll know exactly what you're working on to create that habit. And so for me, if I use time blocking, so my time block would be, okay, I need to make X amount of calls. So then it's like, okay, I need to time block my schedule every day. And usually I put it in my Outlook, and it'll be green for money, for instance. And that will be that time block that I do. Now, is that something that I do all the time? Probably not. Okay. I'll be super honest with you, but the fact that it is on my schedule and nothing else supersedes that. So if a client calls or something, they can wait, because it will always, that schedule is more important for me. Okay. So that's where for me, that's where time blocking is more detailed for me. Okay. All right. And then for work, anyone else want to add a second?
I would like to take more advantage of training.
Okay.
That's my goal for this year.
So learn more training then, or acquire
Yeah.
more training skills.
Yeah,
Okay.
acquire more training. Just, it's offered. I just need to make it a point to do it.
Okay. Make more time to do it. Okay. And then that goes off with time blocking, which is great. So the question with that is, what time do you think that you could set aside to make this happen? You know, is it a Saturday morning? Is it a Sunday? Is it evenings? So that's where you want to take it to that next level to say, okay, where could I set that next? So that's where, you know, we go back to the first part where not only are you asking other people questions, but you're asking yourself these questions as well, because you want to go deeper with yourself. So Caitlin, for instance, you know, if you give yourself a time, right, and just estimating, what day you feel works best for you?
I was just writing that down. Probably Tuesdays or Thursdays from 1 to 3. Those are my only time frames that I know I'm kid free.
Okay, so Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yep.
Okay, great. And then we'll take it even deeper. Is there a time that you could set for yourself with the kids around your schedule? Is it evening? Is it afternoon?
From 1 to 3.
Awesome. Great. So see how already you've already identified for yourself what your challenge is, what you could achieve, and what you could work on. Now, if this adjusts, that's great, but at least you've written it down to be able to hold yourself, your own self, accountable in that way, to be like, okay, I can do this. So awesome. Thanks. That's huge. Okay. And on a scale, you know, for your work, right? We're still going into this frustration part. Where are you at with this? Like, how high do you think that you've succeeded in, you know, that, you know, as far as, I'll say this as in, from 1 as in, it's important to you, or 1 as least important to you, and 10 it's most important to you.
I'd say it's about a 7 or 8.
Okay, sounds good. We'll keep it at a 7 for now. Okay, great. Because we just want to be realistic. All right, and then the next one is self. So self-improvement. So we're going to go a little bit quicker because I know we've got time still. So self, what is something that you want to work on for yourself, for your own self? So anyone can throw out any type of questions or answers. And we'll go one line this time so we'll be respectful of time. Anyone want to share? What's a goal or something they want to achieve for their own self?
Oh, I'm trying to be more consistent on the vitamins and supplements, because I joined Viome and now it's like I want to reverse age. So
Okay. So the most important thing is your health, right?
Yes.
Because without health, that's the main thing. And then your action to your health is, you know, take your vitamins daily.
daily,
right?
yeah, consistent.
Great. Okay. And then the other end is, how are you going to do that? So what habit do you think that you could create to do that? Like, is it the minute that I grab my water, I have my vitamins ready? It could be something as simple as, I'm going to prepare it the night before, or I'm going to get a vitamin kit, you know, and do it, you know, that month so that I have the weekly supply, right? And so now you've developed as in, what is the action plan to create that, right? And so for me, maybe it's a vitamin box, you know, and prepare nightly, you know, let's say. Okay, so there's that. Okay, and then the last thing would be, you know, drink with water. Okay, and now with your health right now, how important is it? And where, how important is it with your health currently, where you're at? And then I'm always going to do 2 parts, and then kind of where are you at with this? So do you feel like your health right now is a 5? Is it, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being bad, 10 being really good? Where are you at with your health?
Probably a 7.
7? Okay, great. So like for myself, right, my health right now, I would say with the things that I'm doing and stuff, starting off the year, I'm probably a 5. Where Mason is going to the gym daily, where his health is more consideration of 8 or 10 or 9. So that's where I would differentiate myself. So, okay, great. And then friends, right? So the next part is friends, like friendships, who are you connecting with? Friends, your people. So, your interaction with your people, right? Are you doing a great job with your friends right now? And if not, if yes, then great. But what are things that you want to do with friends that's going to help create that goal for next year? Anyone want to add?
Reconnect and reach out more to more people.
That's good.
Okay, great. Now, how are you going to do that, Dave? Like, what would be your goal or plan to do that?
Maybe to have like lunch or, just coffee with, maybe 2 people a week, 3
Okay,
people a week.
great. Okay, and even deeper, who are those going to be? Who are those people first?
Maybe old friends,
Okay.
maybe old colleagues.
Okay. Great. So for me, my goal would be, my goal this year would be, and I just talked to Stephen about this, and it was like Stephen Wang, and it was like, there are times that, Mason, him and I would go have lunch together, and it was probably one of the coolest times, right? And David joined us for one of them. And so I would say for me, it would be like have more of those, maybe once a month or once every 2 months. So that would be like get it on the schedule, do those things. So for me, it would be, to ingrain that in the calendar, and make that a priority, Okay. And, where we're at with that could be, I'm not doing a good job with my friendships. I guess I could be better. So I would just give myself a 6. Okay. All right. And then for family, what are things with family that you want to work on this year, or, that you've had frustrations with and that you want to work on?
Getting the whole family together for a monthly dinner or get lunch, whatever it is. But my family used to be really, really big on every holiday we were together, every birthday we were together. Since my grandma passed away about 10 years ago, it has not been like that, and I miss it.
Got it. No, then that's huge. That's huge. So that's not your immediate family, but that's the largest scale of the family. So that's great that you've identified that. Now, Anna, what do you feel that you could do to create that action?
I just have to boss them around.
Okay. Boss them around, right?
Yeah,
And make the call, right? Make the call to them.
exactly.
Okay.
Set it in stone for, hey, this, the second Sunday of the month or whatever, this is what it is. Be there or be square, I guess is the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
No,
love
which
it.
is great, right? You're creating, you're asking them, and then also, then you're interacting with them, and now you're influencing them, right? So that goes back to interaction and influence. So great job with that. That's really detailed. So with that, since we've gone through this frustration, right? Where are you at with this? Like, consistency wise, how's it happened over the last year? Where do you think that you fit into where you're at currently with this number?
Over the last couple months, it's actually got a lot better, but I would still say we're at about a 5.
Okay, great. You're really diving that it's something that you really want to improve on, and that where that number is at. Okay, great job. Perfect. All right. Love life. Now love life is, again, your own personal love life with, your spouse, you know, and those things. So anyone want to add, like, what are challenges or frustrations that you have in your love life, and what are things that you want to improve on? If not, I'll add mines. So
Make a date night every month.
yes, that is actually my biggest one. So then it's, for me, Caitlin, I'll just go deeper, would be setting the same day and time each month. Right?
That's
And
a good
then-
idea.
Right? And then that way I know for sure to block it off on my calendar. And then also it would be to find the restaurant, you know, because that's the next battle with your spouse, is if you don't pick the place, it's not going to happen. So if you're
True.
going to lead on this one, you have to find the place, or you have to give them the 2 suggestions, right? Claim jumpers, Red Robin, your choice. Okay. You know, whatever it is, right? You know, Cheesecake Factory, Red Robin, right? So it's your choice. Okay. So, and then the other part of the date night that I always go into with when you're having the date night itself, and I always add a 2-part, would be, go back or learn about my spouse. Okay. You know, changes in life. Right. And then the last part for me is not talk about the kids. Because then what's the point of date night? It becomes now a family thing, right? So now we're not really dating again, right? And what I mean by changes in life are changes in life and goals. You know, what is your goal that you want to achieve? Because especially all of you are in real estate, right? And so your time is really important and valuable, and they don't understand being self-employed, what that means, right? You really don't. And so you have to also be able to share that with your spouse. Like, hey, sorry, I can't be home for this, or I got to run and take a client for this because I have the family. But you have to understand, this is what my goal is this year, and this is what I'm trying to achieve. You know, and if your goal is to buy 2 rental properties, right? How do you achieve that number goal? Right? You have to have more clients. You have to have more people to create that income so that you could buy those properties. So that's where you're going to share those goals, and they're going to share those goals back with you. Okay. And that, I feel like that's the most important thing on a date night to have. Okay. And you'll go deeper on that. Okay. And then the other thing is spiritual life. So, you know, I don't know if you're faith-based. I'm a Christian, but, you know, whatever your faith is, you know, you want to have some sort of spirituality, right? And some people are just manifestors, which is great. Okay. So, you know, what are things that you want to do in your spiritual life, you know, as well? So we'll finish this last one. Love life, I just put a 5. Okay. And then, so spiritual life, actually I'll put a 3 because we're not doing date nights right now. Okay. So spiritual life, where are we at right now? Or sorry, as in, what are things that you want to work on in your spiritual life? Anyone? Whether it's manifesting, whether it's reading the Bible, whether it's
taking time for meditating
yep,
and journaling.
meditation.
My number 2 is probably journaling.
Okay, and journaling. Okay. So the question is, do you have a journal that you like, that you're using?
Luckily, my friend just gave me one. So
Okay. Okay, so you got a new journal. Okay, so you purchased a new journal. Okay. And the question is, have you read through that journal to at least know what you're supposed to do? Or, you know, because every journal is the same. Some has like 3 different things, some has like different things. So the question is, do you like the journal that you are using? Because that's,
yeah, my friend just gave this to me. It says morning meditations for manifesting, and it's supposed to have prompts. So
okay.
Good question. I will make that the goal for today, that I will read the introduction forward so I know how to use it.
Great, great. And then the meditation is how much time do you want to acquire? Do you want to focus on yourself for meditation?
I think my bigger goal would be to get to like 20 minutes, but
Okay.
my coach said to start at, 1 minute, 2 minutes, to start
Yeah.
there, make that a consistent habit. So I'm going to start there.
I mean, I think with my kind of ADHD, OCD, I'm at like probably no more than 5 minutes I can sit still. So for yourself, like, if 20 minutes is the goal a day, that's an awesome thing. So that would be, that I would say, something that you want to try to, start somewhere and then, achieve that. So you can always go deeper, but when you write it down, you'll know this a little bit more. And then for my other part would be the Bible, and it would be, read a scripture a day, a day, or find something, or for me it was find something online that quoted to what I'm dealing with. Okay. So, and right now I would say that I'm probably a 4 in that. Okay. So the biggest frustration overall is you're taking all of these things that we have, right? And this you'll do for yourself. And that's going to be, creating this frustration is, what is it, knowing that all of these things, what is it that's most important that has, pretty much created this, huge frustration? And I think if I had to just generalize it, I think it's time. Right. And I could see it's make more time, and everyone's time is different. Some people have more time, some people have less time, but where your time is valuable, that's super important, because we can't get this back. Just like the time you're sharing with us right now, you're not going to get this back. So we want to make it as valuable as possible, because you could be sleeping right now, you could be eating, you could be doing so many other things, right? And so we got to be super understanding and respectful of it. Okay. So now that we know this is where this vision wheel really plays in. So if we look at money, we're an 8. And the goal is to kind of get to a 10, okay, and where it's at. So, work is 7. That means you guys are doing well at work. I think it was self and your health, we're at 7. I think friendships, we're at 6. And then 5. And then I think love life, we're at like 5. And then I think spirituality, we're at a 4. So if you look at all of this, right, and you were to take a pencil and draw this in, okay, and draw this all in, the things that we would need to work on the most, it looks like money seems like everyone's a little bit okay with it, or Michelle's great with her money. Work, it looks like habits, you guys are doing well. Of course, the goal would be to get to a 10. Self, it looks like you guys are doing well. Friendships, we could do a little bit better. Family, better. Love life, bad. And then spirituality is not good at all. So the goal is to create that even circle where it's not like scattered apart. Okay. So that's that. And then that's your biggest aha. Okay. And then the next part of this would be, if you did this, kind of where will you be with it? So then that's kind of the next part. The next part will be, after you've dealt with this frustration, what you want to work on, where will you be with it? So, that's something that you can kind of add. I think I kind of eliminated this with our original call, because I wanted to go deeper with the frustration itself and focus on the frustration. So I think if you focus on this one, which is what I normally do, the where will you be is, okay, as in after I achieve this goal, where would I be? Where would it create the financial freedom? If I have the date night, what would be the outcome of those things? So that's where, once you've achieved those goals, where do you foresee the outcome? Because it's not that, the whole thing of it is, way you want to look at it is not that you just want to work on it, but that these things are going to come true. Like I am going to have 2 rental properties by the end of the year. I am going to have a date night. You know, I am going to meditate. You know, these things will already happen. So that's where the other part is, if you want to be true to it, then you want to hit that as in, this is what is going to actually come true from it, you know? And for Caitlin, it'd be like, I've already completed these trainings. So, you know, you've already done the work is what, after you've written it down. Okay, great. And then the other part is then the last part of this is, sorry about this. This is the 1-year business plan. And so I know we only got like 10 minutes left, but where the 1 minute or where the 1-year business plan is assessing where your business is at. So you'll take your current taxable income, right? So what you want to do is you want to assess, you would have done this in technically end of 2022. You would have taken where your number is, how many units that, or how many families you've helped, whether it's on the buying side and selling side. So let's say your taxable income is 160,000. Okay. How many families you've helped? You know, you could say I've helped, you know, 8 families. Okay. How many people do you have on your team? Some people don't have, you know, members, but eventually your goal would be to succeed and build a team, add an assistant, add another buyer's agent, you know, all those things, right? And so that's where you would be. So maybe you have 0 staff members. And then the other thing is to break down, what are your current expenses monthly? So it could be coaching, it could be what you pay for the MLS, it could be a database systems, okay? So everyone is different, right? And so when I assessed like how much I spend in my business, it came out to, with coaching and everything, it was close to like, I think it was like 3,000. So everyone's business is different. So let's say you only spend 1,000 a month on your business, okay? And then it would be then, what are your sources of your business, right? And so your sources of business could be, you know, friends, right? And how much of that comes from friends? You know, it may be 80%. You know, some people could be, the other portion of my business comes from, you know, online, you know, maybe online searches, and you get, you know, 10% of that business. So you also want to assess where your business is at, because that's where you could focus on, as in, I need to focus on getting more of that business ahead. Okay. And then what is your biggest current weakness, right? And we could say time management. Okay. And then my net income per transaction, that's where you take, you know, all your closings that you had, and then you want to average it out, right? And so you could say, you know, per transaction, I make 6,000. Okay. And then your savings goals, right? How much money did you put away for savings, investments, all of those things, right? And maybe you only put away, you know, if even that, let's say 5,000 of it. Okay. In the, oh, sorry, I think it's the other way. Sorry. It's blank percentage, yearly savings was blank percentage of my income. So let's say it was 2% of my income, and let's say it was only, you know, then 5,000 total. Okay. So that means that how much, you know, normally a person should, you know, put away from their current income monthly is, they say it's roughly about 25%, right? And then your current hours of working, right? So then you got to take, how many hours do you put in your business that you're working, right? Some people like David is working 60 hours a week, you know? So, you know, that could be something. And then now your average sales price or mortgage amount is, this is where you want to say, okay, this is where my pricing point is, right? Everywhere is different, right? Granite Falls is different. Everywhere is different, right? And so, but you want to know what your pricing point is. So let's say your pricing point is then 400,000. Okay. So this is where you kind of just identify where your numbers are currently at. And then this is the other half. this is where you want to be. So if then you want to increase that, hey, my sources of relationships or my new taxable income from last year was 160. Let's say I want to have a 10% improvement. And so we were unsure of this year. So I want to be at 170,000. Okay. In order to achieve that, right now I'm helping 8 families. I want to try to help, let's say your big goal would be to help 12 families. All right. Let's say you want to add an assistant the same way Mason did. So I want to add one person to my team. It could be a part-timer, it could be a marketer, it could be my kids, that I make them work, right? So you're adding staff goals. Now your business expenses. So in order to achieve those business expenses, are you going to have to add more to your business revenue? Are you going to have more spending revenue? All of those things. Let's say your spending revenue then goes up from 1,000 to 1,200 because let's say you're doing Facebook ads, okay? And then now your new source of business, let's say that it's only one, you want now your new friends, like David does, increase by 90%. And then focus on what you want to improve on. So what is your thing that you want to improve on? And it may be make more calls, see more people. Okay. And then, my net income per transaction, let's say that it still stays at 6,000. All right. And then my yearly savings will be 20% of my taxable income. And then you got to take whatever your taxable income is, right? Let's say it's then 160,000, right? Times 20% of it. So now you got to somehow save 32,000. So that's a huge difference from the 5,000 we originally had. And then now your hours of work, are you still going to work 60 hours? Maybe so, or maybe you want to work less. Great. And then the next thing is your sales price, right? In order to achieve this goal, right? And let's say you want to hit more people or do more, you might have to bring up your sales price a little bit. So now your sales price changes from 400,000 to now I'm only going to talk to people in 600,000, or I want to hit the higher pricing points. So this is how you're going to achieve your 1-year business plan. And this is where you put your numbers into action so that when you put this up there on your dashboard, you could see, hey, this is how far I am from my goal. And this is how attainable it is. So your goal is not meant to be so far-fetched that you can't reach that goal. Because what's the point of having a goal if you can't attain it? Right? But have a goal that's within reason that's still going to push you. So if your goal is to get 10% better, put 10% better. If you think you're going to have a breakout year and do 50%, do it. Sky's the limit for you guys. So, okay. So I will send this to everyone. I'll try to do a Google Docs link as well as Michelle's put on there. I think Mason has put this on recording, but that's all the things that I have on my side. Given with the time left. So
Thank you.
Any questions, comments, thoughts?
I'll start off to say that this was awesome. I remember speaking with you about some of these things probably about 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
So your improvement on what you kind of focused on now is greatly improved. So I definitely have seen the progress. And so Alex and I have been working together for a long time. So I've also seen the personal growth that Alex has gone through and professionally and work-wise, right? So what he's sharing definitely works because I'm seeing it, and he's proof of that. So thank you, Alex, for sharing this business planning and goal setting.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I mean, yeah, truly, when I met Mason, I probably closed maybe 3 deals at that time and helped 3 families. And so, we've built, and of course, there's a period of time where you have to create the relationships and understand that, it will take the time to build. And so we know that for you guys and know that it's not going to be instantaneous. But your own personal growth is what's most important for yourself and for your family, because if you guys can't get right for yourself, it's hard to lead the motivation for your family. I mean, how many times have I actually yelled at my kid and thought back of myself, man, maybe I should have done a different approach, right? And so I'll read, the book, Parents Together, or even Mason and I have talked about, there are certain things that maybe we should have done better, or how do we say things better, right? And so the whole goal of this every single week is just to encourage each other.
Yep.
So, thank you.
Yes. Anybody else have thoughts? Want to share anything? Questions?
Yeah, this is great, Alex. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
And I don't know if anybody like Michelle's idea to get more passive income, anybody have any different ideas than just get rental properties?
We can help you build your eXp revenue share. That's where
Yeah.
That's one of it, yeah.
that's another stream. Looking to add
Yeah.
help you there. And then there's other ideas too, just like taking your knowledge and then doing more social media and offering like e-courses. So that's there's definitely a lot of different avenues for that. So as I keep learning, I'm happy to share.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle.
That works for everybody.
Awesome. Well, we're getting to the top of the hour. And so a reminder for tomorrow, we have Rick's Mastermind. So hope to see you guys there tomorrow. And
Are you gonna talk about who is it that had the lowball offers? Maybe is that a topic for tomorrow, or you have
Or
a
do you
minute or two?
do you need to get going and we can lead
Yeah.
it? We can finish it if you've got to take Beckett still.
yeah, so I'll lead you as the host. So
Okay.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
have to log out here in a little bit. I've got to take my youngest, get her ready for preschool.
Oh, do you? Okay.
okay, can you make
Could be
tomorrow's
on
mastermind?
tomorrow? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to make it tomorrow. It's 8 a.m., right?
Yeah, that's a great fire
Yeah.
starter.
I'll bring it.
Yeah.
I'll bring it tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Perfect.
perfect.
because you'll have more
Fun.
minds too to give you that. So
Yes.
Yeah. It's driving me a little crazy, so I'll definitely be on there.
Awesome.
Bye. Thank you, Alex. Thank you.
bye.
everyone.
Thank you
Alex,
so
this is
much.
great.
And
Great
to
day.
everyone, to the ones that whenever we send out things and the people that you guys respond and say like, hey, we got it, or thumbs up, especially every time Michelle sends something through the chat, that shows your interaction, and that's the habit that you're going to create. Because let's say a client reaches out to you, right? You want to be the first person there, because honestly, a client's going to work with, they always work, the first person that a client reaches out to has a 70% better chance to work with than the next person. So just, that's a great habit for you guys. I know David, Gianni, Anna, Kaylin, you guys have been really good on, on that. Whenever we see that, even just like a great, thumbs up. So
Good
Okay.
point. Thank you.
You guys.
thank you. Okay.
Bye.
Take
Guys,
care.
thanks,
Have a
Alex.
great Tuesday. Okay. Bye-bye.